Small choices don't seem to matter. That extra cookie, that skipped workout, that one episode that turns into 5. They seem harmless, but they're not harmless. They're building every single day, every single choice. They're compounding, creating the life you have or the one you're about to unlock. This is about the compound effect, how tiny decisions become massive results, how small actions repeated daily create everything: your health, your wealth, your relationships, your future. Most people chase big wins, quick fixes, overnight transformations, and they miss the beautiful truth. Nothing worthwhile happens overnight, but everything magnificent compounds over time, and that's your advantage. Chapter 1. Understand how small choices shape your destiny. You think one choice doesn't matter. One late night, one missed workout, one junk food meal, one skipped savings deposit. What's the harm? The harm is invisible. That's what makes this fascinating. You don't see it today. You won't see it tomorrow. You might not see it for months or years. But it's building, like interest in a bank account you can't access yet. Every choice you make is either building you up or tearing you down. There is no neutral. There is no just this once. Every action counts, every single one. Scientists call this the aggregation of marginal gains. The principle that drove Team Britain's cycling team to dominate the Olympics by improving everything by just 1%. Here's what most people miss. The choices that seem harmless are the most powerful because they don't trigger alarm bells. They don't feel like mistakes. They feel like nothing, but nothing compounds into everything. You eat fast food for lunch. No big deal. Your body doesn't collapse. You're fine. So you do it again tomorrow, and the next day, still fine. Still functioning, but inside, things are changing. Your arteries are adapting. Your gut microbiome is shifting. Your cellular health is evolving. Slowly, invisibly. According to Harvard Medical School, these daily dietary choices determine 70% of your long-term health outcomes. 70% from decisions that feel like nothing. Think about your bank account. You skip saving $10 today. What difference does it make? You still have money. Life goes on. So you skip tomorrow too. $10 seems trivial, but $10 daily is $3,650 yearly. Over 10 years, that's $36,500. With 7% compound interest, it's $50,312. That's a new car, a down payment, a year of freedom, money you'll have. If you understand that $10 matters, or consider your relationships. You skip one date night. You're both tired. It's understandable. Then you skip another, and another, still married, still living together. Everything seems fine, but Dr. John Gottman's research over 4 decades shows that relationship strength isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in micro moments of connection. 5 minutes of genuine conversation daily compounds into intimacy. 5 minutes of distraction compounds into distance. By the time couples notice the distance, they've already compounded years of small disconnections. When was the last time you said just this once? How many times have you said it since? Here's the empowering truth. You're not failing because of one big mistake. You're learning that 1,000 small choices create your reality. And if small choices create where you are, small choices can create where you're going. The bag of chips doesn't make you overweight. The 1,000 bags do. The single workout doesn't create fitness. The 100 workouts do. The late payment doesn't destroy your credit. The pattern does. Which means you have more control than you think. Most people underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years and overestimate what they can achieve in 5 days. The compound effect reverses this. It makes the impossible inevitable through small, consistent daily choices. Starting today, recognize small choices for what they are. Seeds. Not one seed creates a forest, but one seed daily, planted consistently, creates an orchard. Choose wisely, every single time, because you're planting your future. Chapter 2. Embrace the invisible growth phase. You want results now. You want to see progress immediately. You want proof your effort matters. And when you don't see it, doubt creeps in. But here's the fascinating part. The invisible phase is where the real magic happens, not despite the lack of results. Because of the foundation being built beneath the surface. This is how the compound effect actually works. You work hard for weeks, nothing changes. You work hard for months, still nothing visible. You work hard for a year, still waiting, still building. Then suddenly, everything shifts. Results explode. Success arrives. All at once. Not because you suddenly got better, because the compound finally reached critical mass, like ice melting at exactly 32 degrees. Not at 31, at 32. Your effort was warming the ice all along. James Clear documented this phenomenon, studying elite athletes, successful entrepreneurs, and award-winning artists. He found what he calls the plateau of latent potential, a period where effort accumulates with no visible results, followed by an exponential breakthrough. Most people quit in the plateau. Winners stay for the breakthrough. Think about investing. Warren Buffett made 97% of his wealth after age 50, not because he got smarter at 50, because compound interest needed decades to reach escape velocity. First year, modest gains. 5th year, steady growth. 20th year, exponential explosion. His strategy never changed. The compound just needed time to work its mathematics. Early years build the foundation. Later years reap the reward. He understood this at 25. Most people never understand it. Your habits work the same way. You start eating healthy. First week, minimal change. First month, barely noticeable. For the first 3 months, my friends didn't see it. You're frustrated. You're tempted to quit. But your body is transforming. Your gut bacteria are repopulating. Your taste buds are resetting. Your metabolism is recalibrating. Your cellular health is regenerating. According to cellular biology research, your entire body replaces itself every 7 to 10 years. The cells you're building today with healthy choices become your literal body tomorrow. How long have you given your current efforts? Have you given them enough time to compound? Here's what separates people who transform from people who try. Winners understand the lag. They know results take time. They trust the process. They stay consistent, even when nothing seems to happen, especially then. Everyone else expects immediate feedback. When they don't get it, they assume it's not working. So they quit. They try something else. They restart. And they never give anything time to compound. They're constantly restarting the lag phase, never reaching the breakthrough phase. You can't microwave growth. You can't fast-forward compound interest. You can't skip the invisible phase. Time is part of the formula, non-negotiable, but also guaranteed. The people with the best bodies didn't get them in 3 months. They got them in 3 years or 3 months. The people with real wealth didn't build it in 5 years. They built it in 25 years. The people with strong relationships didn't create them overnight. They built them through decades of small daily investment. Psychologist Angela Duckworth's research on grit found that the single greatest predictor of success isn't talent or intelligence. It's the ability to maintain effort and interest over years, despite setbacks and plateaus. That's compound thinking. That's patient power. Starting today, commit to the invisible phase. Stop expecting quick results. Stop judging your progress daily. Stay consistent. Trust the compound mathematics. Give your efforts time to reach critical mass. Because transformation isn't fast, but it's absolutely certain. If you stay long enough, and you will. Chapter 3. Track your way to self-awareness and power. You can't manage what you don't measure. You can't improve what you don't track. You can't see patterns when you're guessing. You need data, real data, about what you're actually doing, not what you think you're doing. Most people live on autopilot. They have genuine intentions, but fuzzy execution. They think they worked out 4 times. It was twice. They think they saved money. They spent more. They think they ate well. They didn't. Your memory lies. Your perception is skewed. Your estimation is optimistic. You need tracking, actual tracking, daily, without exception, not for judgment, for clarity. Here's why tracking creates transformation. It shows you the truth, not what you hoped you did, what you actually did. And that truth is the beginning of change. Awareness precedes action, always. You think you're eating healthy. You track your meals for a week without changing anything, just observing. You're surprised. You ate processed food 5 times. You snacked constantly. You skipped breakfast daily. The tracking reveals what your memory softened. Now you have power because you know the real pattern, not the imagined one, the actual behavior that's creating your current results. Peter Drucker was right. What gets measured gets managed. Think about your phone. It tracks your screen time. You assume you're on it an hour daily. You check the data. It's 5 hours. That's 35 hours weekly. That's 140 hours monthly. Almost 6 full days. Every month. Just gone. Would you have believed that without data? Studies show people underestimate their phone usage by 200 to 300%. The gap between perception and reality is massive. Tracking closes that gap. Your money works the same way. You feel careful with spending. You track every expense for 30 days. Turns out you're spending 200 on forgotten subscriptions, 300 on coffee and takeout, 100 on impulse purchases you don't remember. Without tracking, you never see the leaks. With tracking, you can seal them. Financial advisor Ramit Sethi found that people who track spending for just 30 days reduce expenses by an average of 23%, not through deprivation, through awareness. What are you avoiding tracking? What truth are you hesitant to see? Here's the growth opportunity. Tracking reveals your excuses. You say you don't have time to work out. Your phone shows 5 hours of social media daily. You have time. You're choosing differently. That's not criticism. That's clarity. Clarity creates choice. You say you can't save money. Your bank statement shows $250 on delivery food monthly. You can save. You're currently investing in convenience over future freedom. No judgment, just data. Data you can use. Tracking strips away comfortable stories. It forces honesty. It shows you who you really are, not who you think you are. And yes, that can be uncomfortable, but that discomfort is the price of growth. Most people avoid this price. They stay blind. They wonder why nothing changes. But the people who transform track everything. Their workouts, their food, their money, their time, their habits, their mood patterns, everything, because they know measurement creates awareness. Awareness creates insight. Insight creates change. Behavior researcher B.J. Fogg at Stanford found that tracking alone, without any other intervention, changes behavior 30 to 40%. Just the act of noticing, of seeing, of knowing. That's the compound power of awareness. Starting today, pick one thing to track, just one. Your workout, your spending, your screen time, your food, your water intake. Track it daily, honestly, completely. Use an app, use a notebook, use a spreadsheet. The tool doesn't matter, the consistency does. Watch what happens when you can't hide from the truth anymore. Watch how awareness naturally shifts behavior. Watch how data becomes your ally, not your judge. Because tracking isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. And reality is where transformation begins. Chapter 4. Remove friction from your path to success. Your bad habits are small. That's why they're powerful. They don't feel like threats. They don't seem worth addressing. So you tolerate them, and they compound into obstacles you don't deserve. Checking your phone first thing in the morning, hitting snooze, eating while watching TV, staying up 30 minutes too late, scrolling before bed. These seem insignificant. They're not. They're compound drains. Every small negative habit has a compound cost. One you don't see immediately, one that builds over months, over the years, over decades, until the accumulated drag is massive. You hit snooze every morning, just 10 minutes. What's the harm? Over a year. That's 60 hours of fragmented sleep. Sleep that doesn't restore you. Sleep that leaves you tired. MIT sleep researchers found that fragmented sleep is significantly worse for cognitive function than reduced sleep. That 60 hours compounds into lower energy, worse decisions, decreased productivity, all year long. Or think about phone checking. You check it 60 times daily, just a quick glance. 15 seconds each. That's 15 minutes daily. 7.5 hours monthly, 90 hours yearly. But it's worse than lost time. Dr. Gloria Mark at UC Irvine found that every interruption costs 23 minutes of productive focus time. Not the 15 seconds of checking. 23 minutes to regain deep work. 60 checks daily isn't 15 minutes. It's nearly the entire day. Gone. The compound cost of just checking. Here's what successful people understand. They don't fight big problems. They eliminate small frictions. They don't fix major issues. They remove daily obstacles that slowly drain them. The small leaks sink the ship, not the big holes. Because you see big holes, you fix them immediately, but small leaks go unnoticed. Until you're underwater. Until the accumulated weight is too heavy. What small habit are you defending? What harmless behavior are you protecting? What feels too small to matter? Think about your health. You didn't exercise today, tomorrow either. You're not dying. True. But your cardiovascular system is adapting to inactivity. Your muscle mass is decreasing 1% per decade after 30. Your metabolism is slowing. Every day you skip, your body adjusts to sedentary as normal. That becomes your new baseline. Or think about your mind. You consume negative news every morning, just staying informed. But neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman explains you're programming your amygdala for threat detection, for anxiety, for stress, every day, compounding into a nervous system that sees danger everywhere. The beautiful part. The fix is simple. Eliminate one tiny negative habit. Just one. Replace it with something neutral, or something positive. Then let that compound into freedom. Stop hitting snooze. Wake up when the alarm goes. That's 365 better mornings yearly. Research shows morning routines set psychological tone for the entire day. Better mornings create better days. Better days create a transformative year. Stop scrolling before bed. Read instead. That's 30 minutes of learning daily. 7 hours weekly. 15 books yearly. Over a decade, that's 150 books. 150 books worth of knowledge, insight and growth. From one tiny habit shift. Psychologist Wendy Wood's research found that 43% of daily behaviors are habits, not conscious decisions. Change one small habit, and you're changing nearly half your day. That's massive compound leverage. Starting today, identify your smallest negative habit, the one you've been dismissing, the one that seems too trivial to address. Remove it, replace it, watch what compounds when you remove the friction. Because every eliminated drag makes the journey easier. That's it. Every removed leak makes the ship faster. You're not adding more effort, you're removing unnecessary resistance. And that compounds into momentum. Chapter 5. Start so small you can't possibly fail. You don't need 10 new habits. You need one tiny habit. Done daily, compounded over time. That's how real transformation happens. Not through revolutionary change, through evolutionary consistency. Most people try to change everything simultaneously. New diet, new workout routine, new schedule, new mindset. All starting Monday. By Wednesday, they've abandoned it. Too much, too fast, too overwhelming. The human brain resists dramatic change. But one habit is manageable, one habit is sustainable, one habit can stick. And once it sticks, it compounds. It creates momentum. It builds confidence. It makes the next habit easier. It proves you're someone who follows through. Here's the secret successful people know. Start smaller than you think you should. Way smaller, embarrassingly small. So small you can't fail. So small there's no excuse. So small it feels almost silly. You want to work out daily? Don't start with an hour. Start with 2 push-ups. 2. That's it. Every morning, 2 push-ups. Sounds ridiculous. That's exactly the point. It's so easy you'll do it. And B.J. Fogg's research at Stanford shows that once you do it, you'll probably do more. But even if you don't, you've built the habit. The showing up habit, the consistency habit. That's what compounds into transformation. Think about reading. You want to read more. Don't commit to 30 pages daily. Commit to 1 page. 1. Right before bed. Every night. 1 page takes 90 seconds. You can't say you don't have time. You can't say you're too tired. It's 1 page. You'll do it. And the compound effect of reading 1 page daily is profound. 1 page daily is 365 pages yearly. That's 1 to 2 complete books. Just from 1 page. But most people aim for 30 pages. Can't maintain it. Read nothing. 0 compounds into 0. 1 compounds into everything. James Clear calls this habit stacking. Making new behaviors so small they easily attach to existing routines. Not motivation dependent, automatic. And automation is how habits compound effortlessly. What small habit could you start today? What's the tiniest version of the change you want? What's the version you literally can't fail at? Here's what happens when you start small. You succeed every day. That success builds identity. I'm someone who works out every day. Not someone who tries, someone who does. Identity shifts. Precede behavior shifts. You start with 2 push-ups. After a week, you naturally do 5. After a month, you do 10. After 3 months, you're doing a full workout. Not because you forced it, because the compound momentum carried you there naturally. But if you started with a full workout, you would have quit day 3. No momentum, no compound, no transformation, just another abandoned resolution. Small habits compound faster than big efforts, because small habits stick. Big efforts fade. Consistency beats intensity, every time, in every area, always. This isn't my opinion. This is behavioral science. You want to save money? Don't try to save $500 monthly. Start with $5 daily. 5. Transfer it every morning automatically. Watch it compound. Over a year, that's $1,825 plus interest. More than most people save starting with unrealistic goals they abandon by February. Meditation, Don't start with 20 minutes. Start with 3 breaths, 3 conscious breaths every morning. That's 15 seconds. But those 15 seconds compound into mindfulness, into presence, into peace. Stanford psychologist Kelly McGonigal found that the biggest predictor of habit success isn't motivation or willpower. It's the size of the initial commitment. Smaller commitments succeed at 3 times the rate of larger ones. Starting today, choose one tiny habit. Make it so small it feels almost pointless. That feeling means you're doing it right. Then do it every single day for 30 days straight. Don't judge, don't evaluate, just do it. Watch what compounds from that consistency, because small and steady doesn't just beat big and broken. Small and steady is the only thing that works long term. The tortoise didn't win by accident. The tortoise won by understanding compound momentum. Chapter 6. Protect your energy like it's your most valuable asset. Your energy is finite. Your attention is limited. Your time is fixed. But you're bleeding all 3 on things that don't serve you, on people who deplete you, on habits that drain you, and you're tolerating it because it seems normal. Every energy drain has a compound cost, not just the energy you lose in the moment, but the energy you don't have for what matters, the attention you can't give to your goals, the time you can't invest in growth, the creativity you can't access. Most people tolerate drains. They accept them as part of life. They think everyone deals with this, so they keep the toxic relationship, keep the mindless scrolling, keep the clutter, keep the stress, and wonder why they're exhausted, why success feels impossible. Here's the truth: most people discover too late. Energy drains compounds faster than energy gains. One negative influence in your life can cancel out 10 positive ones. One bad habit can undermine 5 good ones. One major stress can destroy months of progress. You need to protect your energy, strategically, ruthlessly, not selfishly, wisely, because every drain you remove creates space for something that builds you, that compounds positively. Think about relationships. You have an acquaintance who only complains, never supports, never celebrates your wins, always needs something. Every interaction leaves you drained, frustrated, negative. Your mood drops for hours afterward. You think one relationship doesn't matter much, but you see them weekly. That's 52 draining interactions yearly. 52 times your energy depletes, your mood sour, your mindset shifts negative. University of California research shows negative interactions have 5 times more impact than positive ones. That compounds over the years into depletion, into a version of you that's dimmer than you deserve to be. Or think about your phone notifications. Every ping breaks your focus. Every alert demands attention. Every notification pulls you away from what matters. You think it's just a second, but Cal Newport's research shows it's not. It's the cost of regaining focus. 15 to 23 minutes. Every single interruption, 10 notifications daily, equals 4 hours of lost deep work. 20 hours weekly, 80 hours monthly, an entire work week, every month, gone, because you wouldn't turn off notifications. The compound cost of being available. What drain are you tolerating? What's slowly depleting your energy without you noticing? What feels too small to matter, but compounds into exhaustion? Here's what most people do wrong. They add more to compensate. They try to outwork the drain. They think they just need more energy, more motivation, more discipline, more coffee, more willpower. But that doesn't work, because the drain is always there, pulling, taking, depleting. You can't out-add a major drain. You have to remove it, like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain open. The solution isn't more water, it's closing the drain. Cut the toxic relationship, delete the draining app, Quit the energy-sucking commitment. Cancel the subscription you never use. Clean the cluttered space that stresses you out. Unsubscribe from the emails you never read. One big cut creates massive compound gains, because now that energy goes somewhere useful. That attention focuses on your goals. That time builds your future. That space allows creativity to emerge. Greg McKeown's book Essentialism found that top performers don't just do more, they eliminate more. They protect their energy more carefully. They say no more often. They create space more intentionally. Starting today, identify your biggest energy drain, the one thing that consistently depletes you without adding value. Then cut it completely. No halfway. No I'll reduce it. Cut it, remove it, eliminate it. Watch what compounds when you stop bleeding energy daily. Watch how your baseline energy level rises. Watch how much more you have for what matters. Because you can't compound success while leaking energy, but you can compound momentum once the leaks are sealed. Chapter 7. Engineer your circle to elevate your future. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's not a motivational metaphor. That's statistical reality. According to social psychology research, their habits become your habits. Their mindset becomes your mindset. Their standards become your standards. Their future predicts your future. If your 5 people are complacent, you'll drift toward complacency. If they're negative, you'll become negative. If they're stuck, you'll stay stuck. Not because you're weak, because social influence compounds daily, invisibly, powerfully. Neuroscientist Matthew Lieberman calls humans profoundly social creatures. Our brains are wired to mirror those around us. Most people don't choose their circle carefully. They keep whoever showed up first, whoever's convenient, whoever doesn't challenge them, and they wonder why they're not growing. Why are they stuck in the same patterns year after year? Here's what happens. You decide to transform your health. You start working out. You start eating better. You're motivated. You're committed. Then you hang out with your usual circle. They eat junk. They skip workouts. They joke about your phase. You think you're strong enough to resist. Maybe you are, for a day, a week. But daily exposure compounds. Their comments accumulate. Their influence seeps in. University of Pennsylvania research shows you're 50% more likely to gain weight if your friends are overweight. Not genetics. Social contagion. Slowly, you start skipping workouts too, eating junk too, justifying it, because that's what everyone around you does. That's the compound effect of the wrong circle. It pulls you toward the mean, not dramatically, gradually, until you're back where you started, or worse. Now imagine the opposite. You surround yourself with people who work out daily, who eats well, who push themselves, who celebrates discipline. You're around them consistently. Their habits normalize. Their standards become your normal. Their discipline becomes contagious. You don't need motivation. You need proximity to people who are already living the life you're building, because their compound influence will shape you faster and more permanently than any willpower ever could. Who are your 5 people? Are they lifting you up or dragging you down? Are they future-focused or past-focused? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes you need to distance yourself from people you care about. Not because they're bad people, because they're bad for your growth right now. Their influence compounds in the wrong direction for where you're heading. That's uncomfortable. That feels disloyal. But Jim Rohn was right. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want to change your average, you have to change your 5. You don't need to cut everyone, but you need to be strategic. Spend more time with people who challenge you, who inspires you, who is ahead of where you want to be, who makes you better just by being around them, and spend less time with people who drain you, who's settled, who makes excuses, who pulls you toward comfort instead of pushing you toward growth, who celebrates your limitations instead of your potential. Harvard researcher Nicholas Christakis found that happiness spreads through social networks up to 3 degrees of separation. Your friends' friends' friends affect your happiness. That's how powerful social compounds are. You're not just choosing 5 people, you're choosing their networks too. Starting today, audit your circle. Who compounds your growth? Spend more time with them. Invest in those relationships. Who compounds your decline? Reduce that exposure, not with drama, with boundaries. Build a circle that makes success inevitable. Join communities where your goals are normal. Find mentors who've already achieved what you're building. Surround yourself with people who are becoming who you want to become. Because you can't outgrow your environment. You become it. That's not a weakness. That's neuroscience. Your mirror neurons fire when you observe others. You literally practice their behaviors in your brain. Choose carefully whose behaviors you'll practice. Chapter 8. Design an environment that makes success automatic. Your willpower is weak. Your discipline is limited. Your motivation fades. These aren't character flaws. These are facts of human psychology. But your environment is always working, 24 hours, every day, either for you or against you. Most people try to change through effort, through forcing themselves, through fighting their environment daily. That's exhausting. That's unsustainable. That's why 92% of New Year's resolutions fail by February. Smart people design their environment. They remove friction from good habits. They add friction to bad habits. They make the right choice and the easy choice, the default choice, the obvious choice, the only choice they see. Here's the transformative power of environmental design. It works automatically. While you sleep, while you're tired, while you're stressed. It doesn't require willpower. It just guides you toward the behaviors you designed for, like a river channel, guiding water, effortless flow. You want to eat healthier? Don't rely on discipline at 7 p.m. when you're exhausted. Change your kitchen now when you have energy. Remove junk food completely. Stock only healthy options. Now when you're hungry and tired, the only choice is a good choice. Your environment decides for you. Decision fatigue eliminated. Or you want to read more. Don't fight your phone habit with willpower every night. Change your bedroom now. Remove the TV. Remove the phone charger. Put a book on your nightstand. Put a reading lamp there. Now when you're in bed, the easiest option is reading. Your environment guides you there. Resistance removed. Think about your workspace. Is it optimized for focus or contaminated with distraction? Is your phone visible? That's a trigger for checking. Reducing focus by 37% according to University of Texas research. Are notifications on? That's compound interruption. Is your desk cluttered? That's a mental drain. Clean the desk. Hide the phone in a drawer. Kill all notifications. Use website blockers. Install apps that limit social media. Make focus the default. Make distraction difficult. Your environment now works for your goals instead of sabotaging them. How is your current environment sabotaging you? What triggers are you exposed to hundreds of times daily? Here's what most people miss. Small environmental changes create massive compound effects. Because you interact with your environment constantly, hundreds of times daily. Each interaction either helps or hurts. Multiply that by days, weeks, months, years, decades. The compound impact is enormous, much bigger than willpower. Because willpower depletes by evening, the environment persists forever. It's still working at midnight, still guiding you at 6 a.m. Consistency without effort. You want to exercise more? Put your workout clothes out the night before. Put your shoes by the bed. Put your gym bag in the car. Make starting easy. Make skipping harder. Now you have to actively choose not to work out. The environment creates momentum. You want to save money. Set up automatic transfers the day your paycheck hits. Money moves to savings before you see it, before you can spend it. You can't spend what's already gone. The environment makes the right choice automatic. Discipline not required. You want to break a bad habit? Remove every trigger. Delete the app. Throw out the junk food. Cancel the subscription. Unfollow the accounts. Block the websites. Make the bad choice impossible, or at least difficult enough that you won't do it on autopilot. Behavioral economist Richard Thaler won a Nobel Prize for showing that small changes in choice architecture dramatically affect behavior. Moving healthy food to eye level increases consumption by 25%. That's the compound power of environmental design. Starting today, redesign one part of your environment. Make one good habit easier. Make one bad habit harder. Remove one trigger. Add one prompt. Watch what compounds when your environment works for you instead of against you. Because you don't need more discipline. You need better design. You don't need more willpower. You need smarter systems. You don't need to be stronger. You need to be strategic. Design your environment, then let it compound success for you. Automatic. Small choices create everything. Your health, your wealth, your relationships, your future, your legacy. They compound daily. Invisibly at first, then obviously, powerfully. You can't always see them working, but they are. Trust the process. Trust the mathematics. Stay consistent. Let time work its inevitable magic. The compound effect never fails. It's not motivation, it's mathematics. The only failure is quitting too soon, and you won't, because you understand now. Small, daily, consistent. That's the formula. That's the path. That's your future. Compounding.